Okay, this session is a panel, so we have four panelists here. Let me introduce them, and it's mostly going to be a discussion, and then we'll also open up Q&A to the floor. So I hope everybody's having a good show so far. We had some fabulous speakers this morning. I know that Tom is still around for a little bit, and Andrew had to leave. But if you need to get in touch with him or you'd like a copy of his slides, I'm sure we can figure that out. All right, our first of four speakers is John Tai, all the way down at the other end of the table here, with more than 11 years of experience at Genesco. He's the director of e-commerce, and probably most of you know Genesco probably more for their brand Journeys, or if you've got teens or young adult children, it's quite a popular brand. He also manages Journeys Kids and She by Journey and Underground Station brands. Previous to that, he was a senior consultant. John was at Anderson Consulting and Accenture, my alma mater too, and in 1997 as the director of strategic projects. He heads up online customer acquisition and brand growth, and has a particular expertise in youth marketing, social media, and multi-channel innovations. So I'm sure that this topic around MOSO, right, as I heard it was called this morning, is very apropos to his demographic. Steve Deller is the founder and president and CEO of Virid. Virid is one of our exhibitors here, and he has over 2 decades of experience designing, developing, and maintaining leading software for Fortune 100 companies, including many retailers such as Timberland, Liz Claiborne, Maidenform, Cole Haan, and others. He currently acts as the primary mobile advocate for all of Virid's implementations and identify strategies for Virid's clients. So I find it very interesting that the CEO and founder himself is actually embracing this and driving the change within. We talked about who's changing or who's driving mobile efforts within different organizations. Dan Sakai is the vice president of technology, news, and games for CBS Mobile, which is the mobile business for CBS Interactive Properties. That includes CNET, CBS News, and GameSpot. He's responsible for establishing new business partnerships and opportunities for CBS. So while not a traditional retailer, they've been able to leverage mobile marketing, mobile channels, mobile commerce in some interesting ways that we're going to hear about. And prior to CBS, Dan served as senior director in music services at Helio, and also was previously head of product development at Napster. So I think many of you are probably considering the music aspect of mobile commerce, and was it Andrew or Tom had a music element to their mobile sites. Barry, right here to my left, is the vice president of digital marketing solutions at Info Group. They are also showcasing in the hall over here. And his focus recently is helping their clients innovate and tap emerging technologies, which of course includes mobile, to deliver the results that they desire for the most relevant channels. And originally, he's an attorney in New York, and he helped build the online research firm IAG Nielsen. I'm sure many of us have heard of them.
Recovered attorney.
A recovered attorney. All right, so today's fun facts. So I'm going to let you guys guess. One of our panelists was a groupie and rode on the tour bus with Rick James for 2 days at the age of 14. Another one of our panelists can bench press twice his weight. You can tell this is a guy's panel, right? Another panelist played in a rock band called Off Center. And the fourth panelist has cooked Nueva Latina cuisine for over 4,000 people at the Grammys in LA. So with that, we're going to start with our panel, and we'll let you know who's who afterwards. Okay, so first, if each of you, starting with John, if you could just introduce yourself, a little bit about your company, and what are you doing with mobile today? If we could just go down the line here, that'd be great.
Okay. Quick snapshot of Journeys. Again, we have Journeys, the primary brand, has 850 stores. Journeys Kids has about 150, and She by Journeys is about 55. Our website launched back in '99, and our mobile site launched just this past spring in April. We knew why we were launching the site. The bottom line is the stores pay our bills. We know that. So when we launched the mobile site, it was really to support the stores, get the information in the hands of the customers that were going to be shopping the stores. Yes, we did do a cost justification like you would have on anything to figure out, okay, where do we need to be to break even and make some money? And it has exceeded our expectation, but we did not go into it thinking that it was going to be a huge sales channel. Again, it was really a more of a reference site for the stores and for the customer. That is, in fact, what it's turned out to be, but as I said, it has exceeded our expectations on the mobile front. Again, that's really with our website. We have also played with some of the location-based services. We're currently with Scavenger. We were the first nationwide retailer to launch with Scavenger back in, I believe it was August. Again, if you don't know about Scavenger, you check in at the store, you complete tasks, you earn points, and those points will unlock rewards, whether it be just a badge that you can post to your social media or your Facebook page, or a $10 off coupon. That's been a fun experience. Again, driving activity from mobile back into the store to, again, increase foot traffic back into the malls and get the shopper back there. And then at this time, we've chosen not to develop an app. We participate in other people's apps. For example, 17 Magazine has a holiday style guide that we'll be participating in this year. And that's kind of snapshot. Again, our primary customer is 12 to 22 years old. That fashion, footwear, skater, indie music consumer. So.
Great.
I'm Steve Deller, president of Virid. We were founded about 11 years ago as a pure internet consulting firm, bringing in creative services and software development on various different e-com platforms. And throughout the years, we decided that it was better that we develop our own platform. So now we're mixed about, we have our own e-com platform, and then have, as an extension of that, have created a mobile platform on top of that. So in terms of what we're doing with mobile, we've taken all of our existing e-commerce clients and pushing them towards the correct mobile strategy for them based on their demographic and their types of products, and whether it's app, whether it's a website, and that nature. So we really are more of a partner trying to understand our clients' businesses and how they can leverage mobile strategy to increase sales.
Hi, I'm Daniel Sakai, VP Tech, News, and Games for CBS Mobile. So we work across all of the different business units at CBS. So that includes sports, entertainment, news, technology, games. And as Bernadine mentioned, some of my primary properties are CNET, CBS News, and GameSpot. One of the applications that we worked on that's probably most applicable for this audience is an app called CNET Scan and Shop that we launched late last year on the Android platform. It's done really well for us, actually. And what it is a barcode scanning and search application that allows you to basically take any product, scan the barcode, and you can immediately get CNET reviews, expert reviews, and user reviews on that product, as well as comparative pricing information. So if you're in store and you're looking at a product, you can tell immediately if you're getting the best price. If there's a local retailer that's in the area that has the product for a cheaper price, you can find that location on a map, or you can find an online retailer that you can go to later and purchase the product. And we're in the process of actually integrating some new features into that and launching the next iteration of that application on iPhone. It's basically called CNET Reviews, and that'll be coming out in the next couple weeks.
Hi, I'm Barry Berkowitz. I am the social media, mobile marketing, email guy for Infogroup Interactive. We are a multi-channel communications provider. We've formerly been known as YesMail and Walter Carl, joined together. We provide strategic services, software as a service, to help brands reach consumers and reach business audiences in the channels where they actually are, whether it's via email, social media, or mobile marketing. We provide creative services, interactive development, and basically we help our brand clients open up communication channels with their audiences and speak to them authentically and appropriately according to the rules of each specific channel. Each channel is a little different. There are rules that govern, and we understand and help our clients get there. We help clients like Domino's Pizza deliver special offers to consumers in a multitude of markets with unique offers by DMA via SMS. So thank you for having me.
Great, thank you. All right, so in terms of the topic of integrating mobile across sales channel, I would say that there are, we'll kind of divide this into two pieces. One is what is happening from the shopper and the user experience, the front end side, and then what needs to happen on the back end side that may be a challenge for you that we could probably learn hear some advice or some lessons learned from the panelists. So when it comes to mobile driving in-store traffic, would any of you like to comment on how you're doing that or how your clients are doing that, and what is it, what piece of advice you would give this audience?
I'll take one. Again, as we said, when we launched the site, it was important to have the information there. So whether it's product reviews, whether it's having a fairly prominent store locator, we also thought it important, and this came from anecdotal information last holiday before we had a mobile site. The call center, I would talk to them and they said, look, I know you're thinking about launching a mobile site next year. You wouldn't believe how many people we get calling us that are stuck in traffic, but they've decided to go ahead and shop the site, but wanted to finish the sale over the phone. Okay, so what we did is we put an order by phone link right next to the add to cart button on the product detail page and on our shopping cart. Yes, the number is also at the bottom of every page, but it was important enough that they thought, and again, it didn't have a problem with the design to put that button there. We assigned a different 1-800 number to it, and we do in fact get a number of calls where people, whether they're shopping from their cars, I don't know, but I mean, they do end up finishing the sale by hitting that button and checking out that way. So again, that was really an existing call center and trying to unify that piece of the direct-to-consumer business. But back to the store piece, when we launched our mobile site, our in-store point-of-sale registers do have the ability to do to basically special order, or we can show you what's available in the chain and we can special order it for you. When we launched the mobile site, it was amazing how many store employees said, what's great is when the register is taken and there's another sales associate working with somebody, I can at least pull up the mobile site, show them what's available, and then special order it for them when the terminal comes back open. And again, just having the tools for the employees read the reviews too that are out there. I mean, all of that was important just to get that information out to the customers and our employees. So.
Great, some great examples there too. Barry?
Sure, I mentioned Domino's briefly in the intro, but it's not so much store traffic with Domino's as it is a telephone call. And what we do is we help deliver offers to consumers at their homes, on their phones, based on the geography in which they reside. Individual Domino's stores have the ability to create special offers for their local customers. And so we can deliver those offers that are most relevant to the local customer through an opted-in database of mobile numbers that have agreed to receive these offers, and by delivering them the local special offer, it's a benefit to both the stores as well as to the local consumer.
How about integrating between your e-commerce site and your mobile commerce, either site or application?
I can take that one. Having done quite a few of these integrations, I think that where most folks run into a lot of trouble is trying to integrate the data that's available to your proper website and then your mobile e-commerce site. There are a number of firms that provide add-on services that can tie into those things and can leverage some of your front-end creative and pull that data off of your site. But we found the most success when we can come up with a comprehensive integrated platform where all the data is in one place and your various different silos or your media devices are all accessing that data so that everything's in sync it's instantaneous. So when you update your product pricing on your main site, it's already updated on your mobile site and through whatever other apps that you've developed to integrate with that. And that's where we found, I think, our greatest success on integrating those things. The other thing I wanted to throw out is that when customers are shopping on the main website, they expect that same type of functionality to be available on your mobile site. So if you offer coupons or promotions or various different sales on your main web, they will expect them to be on the mobile commerce. So it's really important, and it's something that you overlook. Wish lists, exactly. Access to wish list and the My Account and order histories and all of those types of things. So if you're just trying to make a quick splash in the mobile, you may end up getting a black eye in your customer eye because they go, well, gee, they got this promotion on the website. Why can't I use it on mobile? And we found that with the advent of Facebook, they are very vocal. And they will make sure to let everybody know how disappointed they are that they couldn't use a certain promo on their mobile device, especially if you're doing some sort of redirect, that they go to the main site and it forces them over to the mobile. Then you're basically telling them they can't use the coupon unless they can figure out a way to hijack it back to the main site.
Great. Any other thoughts across mobile and e-commerce?
Yeah, I mean, if I could just follow up on that, I think it's really important to utilize the consumer shopping apps like CNET, Scan and Shop that are already in market, and make sure that you're included as an alternate option at the point of sale. There's a lot of retailers that don't even make their feeds available, so it's really important to have open APIs, well-documented APIs, data feeds that are accessible by these applications. There's Shop Savvy, Shopkick, Red Laser, Yowza, which is the mobile couponing application. These apps all have pretty significant market lead already, and I think it's really important to be a part of them, be an option.
So much like the way in the e-commerce world, we started doing a lot of comparison shopping and feeds to Amazon and feeds to other sites. I think what Daniel is saying is that it's a whole nother effort for mobile because the landscape might be different. Now, Daniel, you are responsible for a lot of the partnerships and for CBS Interactive. Can you talk a little bit about that and what you do with advertisers?
Well, we have a variety of different ways that we work with advertisers. We work with all the different ad networks via a centralized ad mediation platform. We also have an internal sales force that sells against the applications, and that's the way we prefer to do it is by sponsorships, but we will also do remnant sales against the inventory within our applications. So that's primarily the way we monetize our applications. We also have a couple apps that are paid downloads. We have one coming to market in about a month for 60 minutes. It's going to be an iPad app that we're going to sell in the App Store. So it'll be a pretty nice app. Check it out, please.
And while we're on driving traffic to our mobile sites, I'm sure we're going to hear a lot about SMS texting during the day. Barry, maybe you can comment about that to sort of lead us off.
Sure. SMS it's an often overlooked channel to reach a consumer, but it's an incredibly valuable one. It takes advantage of the fact that we all have our mobile devices on our persons 24/7. It's an intimate channel, it's an immediate channel, but it's also a channel that you have to respect the rules for. You have to be very careful to gather the opt-in that a consumer understands that they are opening up their phone for a personal communication from you, and you have to respect it by only sending out those types of communications that are appropriate. Those are immediate, urgent, critical information, or information that is relevant for a very brief period of time. Things like the airlines using text alerts to tell you when your flight's delayed or changed gates, or the ability to send out an alert to someone who is a retail consumer, has identified themselves as a sports enthusiast, and can get as specific as, let's say I'm a basketball enthusiast, to have a piece of geographic information that is timely and relevant to that individual the Lakers are playing the Nuggets this weekend and we have excess inventory at the Staples Center. Would you like it? You have to say it much shorter than that, but it's an immediate action type of channel and you have to use it just that way.
Any other thoughts on?
As far as us, we're actually in the process of launching SMS with Info Group. It's really the issue that we have right now is just the aggregators, the amount of time it takes to get all the approvals through, and I mean, so I'm not going to have any negative comments one way or the other, but it's something that we know we need to do, and honestly, because of our consumer, we should have done it earlier, but we didn't, and so we're trying to get there as fast as we can.
Was that a conscious decision to address the mobile site first before SMS texting programs?
Yes and no. I don't know that we necessarily had the staffing, and I'll also say this for our social efforts too, I don't know that we had the staffing right to be able to worry about all the email communication we were doing with the consumer for all the variety of brands that we have, and then have somebody also either interpret those or decide which ones were shareable enough to want to send out via SMS. So I don't know that we had the manpower to be able to address that and truly treat it the way we wanted to, and we didn't want to do it in an ad hoc way.
Right.
And so, yes, we're still collecting them right now, but we haven't deployed anything yet, and hopefully at least before the holidays we'll be able to do something with that.
You know, and in some of our previous discussions, Barry, you pointed this out, it's almost like everybody in the room here should make a pact, right? To not over SMS, because if we blow it, we're blowing it for each other.
Yeah.
Right? Should we all raise our hand and take a pledge? I will not oversaturate the SMS. But it's true. I think that there's a general feeling that, that we are in this together, and that it just takes a few of us. If we overdo it, it could actually really ruin it for that channel.
It's such a temporary type of permission, and it's the kind of thing that all a consumer has to do is text stop and it's over. And so you have to respect that they're welcoming you into a very intimate place and treat that with great care. If you show them respect and only reach out via SMS when there is a tangible benefit, a something in it for them, then they will continue to receive your messages and you'll continue to see results.
Well, we actually have SMS alerts across our CBS News properties, and we're increasingly now moving to in-app notifications, meaning an overlay that comes up when you start up your phone, and you can actually turn that notification off within the context of the phone, as opposed to having to text to stop. So it's much more option-driven.
It's clean.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about the catalog, your products. How do you decide what you're going to put onto a mobile site? How do you integrate it with your e-commerce site or your order management system or what have you? Steve, maybe you could just sort of start us off and tell us a little bit about how are people making this decision, and what would be some advice in terms of making those decisions?
Well, we're a big advocate of everything that you are selling on your website, you should sell on your mobile site. And even if you're not expecting to actually transact a sale on the mobile site, it's important to have the same information on the mobile. And this is going to segue into something I wanted to leave everybody with, is that transactions aren't, and very infrequently are conducted and completed on the single device. People will go on their home laptop and they'll look at some products, and then they'll go in the store and they'll be standing at a store and they want to look at product reviews to see if they want to transact the purchase. So they're jumping from medium to medium to medium, and I think it's really important to have all of that information available so that they can find it wherever they are. If they're in the store, they can use their mobile device. If they're at home, they can use the laptop and get access to all of that information. You probably won't sell, depending on the types of products you sell, some of the high-end things you're not going to sell on the web. It's going to be an in-store type transaction. But as long as you can help that customer get access to the information to help them conduct that sale, when they get there, they know what they've looked at. These are the things I want to look at. It makes them more efficient and gets them more prone to buy when they actually do that. So, in terms of deciding what products to put on, most of our folks put all the products on, knowing that they're probably not going to sell them all. Mm-hmm. But at least the information's there.
And I guess what you're advocating is that even if you're not transactional, a first step is putting your catalog online, so that there's at least buy online or in research on mobile and then buy online or
Right.
buy in store.
And in the case of Genesco and their properties, I mean, we've also added all those capabilities where if you're looking on your mobile device and you want to see if that particular product is in stock at a store near you, you can quickly find the stores that are around you using the geolocation services and see whether or not this particular size and color is in stock at this store. And if it's not, what's the next closest one and all the way down.
John, do you have all of your products on your mobile site?
We do. That we don't differentiate between the two since we have the same content management system, including the inventory information that manages both the HTML and mobile. It's all there.
So in John's case, he has a content management system that is managing both his e-commerce and his mobile site together. Whereas many of you or many retailers may have your catalog on an e-commerce platform or an in-house platform and a separate one that you're integrating with, but it's not the same catalog. It's not the same source for your mobile site. So I think that's something that's unique about what you have. And was that intentional? How did you make that decision? Is that an advantage?
I mean, it ended up being intentional. I mean, we did look at the service providers that were out there. I mean, a lot of the people in the room that have booths, I mean, we looked at them and evaluated them against Virid's solution. And in the end, it just made more sense to keep things together. I mean, again, it's not a knock on any of the service providers here. They wouldn't have the client list they do if their solutions didn't work. But for us, it was one fewer point of integration that was nice to not have to worry about. And as a result, it's worked out pretty well for us. So.
Okay. And maybe while you're speaking, in terms of promotions, that's another area that we often get asked about integration. Are you running the same promotions on web as you are on mobile? Are they different? Are they intentionally different?
We run the same. We did have one hiccup that we screwed up and shared something on Facebook, and people were pissed that they couldn't use it on the mobile site, and that was our fault. I'll say not Virid's fault, but that was just poor planning on our part. But we do. I mean, the heading right now on the mobile site is free shipping over $99. It's the same promotion we run on the normal site. So right now everything is in sync. If there's a coupon code out there, which there seldom is, don't believe Retail Me Not. But if you go out, I mean, yes, you should be able to use those on the mobile site as well.
Okay. Anybody want to comment on payments over mobile or?
We really haven't done a lot of mobile-based payments. We use the same types of transactional systems,
Okay.
The CyberSources and VeriSigns and the various different backend components, and all of that is masked by the various different media interfaces that you use. But we have not gotten into many of the mobile payment technologies that are coming out yet.
Okay. Go
I
ahead.
was going to say, we're actually not really on the payment side of the equation, but many of our clients are. And what we hear is that in order to make mobile commerce as fast and easy as possible, and those are really the two most important pieces, you got to make the payment via a mobile device as fast and easy as you possibly can. Amazon has a great approach where if you register a credit card online, you can make a purchase with one click on your mobile device. We see clients like eBay following suit in the same way. To the extent that you're able to marry those two channels is highly effective, and making it easy to transact on a mobile device with one click or two clicks makes it much more likely that you're going to get transactions.
PayPal actually has an API that they're integrating with ShopSavvy as well. That I think will be a pretty good start for secure mobile transactions. There's also discussions going around about carrier billing, which is a whole different topic. It's really the security around that and the liability around the carrier having to assume responsibility for a faulty transaction is something that's being discussed right now. But those are the two main I think emerging methods of payment, along with, of course, credit card.
And Daniel, just sort of keying off of your background on music or some of the stuff you do at CBS Interactive, are you doing downloads? Is that an element of your program?
No content downloads. It's all streaming right now
Okay.
in terms of the video content. But we are looking into in-app purchases of podcasts and things of that nature.
Any lessons learned or best practices around that?
From my experience, subscription is just not a viable option right now in any form. It may be in the future. A lot of media companies are looking into that for their content, but for right now, it's discrete purchases that people are interested in. So, as retailers, I think that's definitely something that is something to look into.
Okay, let's face the WAP versus app question here. How did you decide?
I mean, for us, again, it was really bang for our buck. I mean, we wanted to reach the most number of people with one effort. I mean, bottom line. Some true research back from the spring said that about 23% of our consumers actually had smartphones or what you would consider the latest smartphones. So for us to even develop an app and pick iPhone when the kid might not have an iPhone, it just didn't make sense. And so I want to think the Sidekick that we were getting was like 5th on our list of devices accessing our site. So to pick and cut out all those other people, and then also to decide, okay, what's the app? What's going to be special about it? Is it going to showcase product? Is it truly going to sell product? To go through all that just didn't make sense at the time. So that's what the decision was. We went with what was going to reach the most number of users, and made the decision from there. So it was pretty easy.
Okay. How about amongst your clients?
To follow on along with that, the downloading an app to be able to transact on a website using your mobile device is a bit analogous to the early days of Flash. Folks would have to go to a website, and if it was primarily Flash and they didn't have Flash installed with their browser, the question was, were they going to spend the time to download this app and then be able to see the pretty moving pictures, or were they just going to leave and find another site where they could transact? We look at that as kind of analogous to the current the state of app versus web. We think that it is mandatory that you have a WAP-based mobile site. You need folks to be able to search on their mobile device and have Google Mobile send them to a WAP-enabled device, and then you can do all the shopping and transacting you want. And we look at the app space as how to extend that relationship with your customer. You can put all the nice things. When somebody comes in and buys from you, and they're a valued customer and a loyal customer, you give them the app, and now they really can go in and they get the push notifications of when you have a new promotion. They get the little alert that pops up on their phone, or they get the little red one that there's a notification from this brand that I like to do business with. And then you can add in all those extra features of the nice transitions and the flipping of imagery, but many of those types of things you can do with the current high-end smartphones, HTML5 and those things that are coming out. It really is kind of blurring that barrier between app and WAP device. So I would start by making your main website more mobile friendly if you don't have the resources to go build a mobile phone specific site. But that, I think, developing that WAP site is number 2 on the list. Unless you're going specifically for something like the gaming arena, where you really want to have that start out with that interactivity, and you're not a pure e-com site, or your main site is already developed and mobile friendly, then maybe you can make that leap right to the WAP, to the mobile app.
So much of the. Oh, I'm sorry. Did you want to speak?
I was just going to say that we do mobile sites and apps for pretty much all of our properties, but within mobile web, just to draw a little bit of a distinction, there's WAP and then there's smartphone touchscreen optimized sites, and it's important that you develop your mobile web properties for both. Up until probably a few months ago, over 50% of our traffic was from the feature phones, meaning the WAP type browsers. So you really have to make sure that your sites are accessible and are formatted for those lower resolution screens. And then you can also have the nicer experience, the higher end touchscreen experience for the iPhone and the Android devices. But you should really make sure that you have your site optimized for both. And then on the app side, of course, you really should think about specific use cases for developing an application. Don't just develop an application for the sake of doing it, saying that you have an iPhone app or an Android app. You should really think about what added value it's going to bring to the consumer. If it's going to be a nicer user experience, or if you're going to be able to stream video through it. Really think about that, and then also think about it as being a business. Return on investment, developing an actual business case against it, as opposed to just getting an app out there. I mean, there's 300,000 apps in the App Store right now, so rising above that noise is going to be very difficult unless you have a sound strategy against it.
That's a good distinction to make in the web. Barry?
I was going to say that so much of the communication that we deliver is not really application-based, and it's frequently email. And there was a great stat given at yesterday's discussion that within the next 2 years, more than 50% of the audience reading the cars.com communication is going to be doing it on their mobile devices. I think at this point we have to expect that you have to make your communications readable on mobile devices to an audience that is becoming increasingly more mobile every day. So email that used to render appropriately on a regular web-based email client or an Outlook is now being read on a mobile device. So you have to think about making your email mobile friendly as well. It's not the same as developing an application, but it's mobile hosted email or it's mobile friendly email.
I think that's a great point, that we may be looking at what our traffic is coming from mobile, but the percent of people reading your emails and your promotions over mobile is going to be higher, some more than others. But I think that's a terrific point. We're going to open up questions to the audience. So if you have any questions, just raise your hand and we'll bring the mic over to you here. And you can either direct your question at the panel or to a specific person.
This is Ramesh Kumar from Tourgo. It's a question for John. You mentioned using things like scavenger check-ins to drive traffic and coupons, so I have a two-part question for that. What's the response rate you're finding from using check-ins as a way of driving traffic? Because I'm also hearing, not many people are engaged on those networks. The second part is, what's your view as a retailer? You're not able to access the data in terms of who's your loyal customer when they're coming in. What level of data are you able to get out as a retailer to be able to use it for your own loyalty programs?
You said for loyalty programs? Okay. On the first one, I know I'm not at liberty to give you numbers on exactly how many people or how many challenges have been done. I will say it's exceeded our expectations slightly. You're right. I mean, the barrier that we dealt with that consumer not having the phone to participate has contributed to that, and I think this is one area where the retailer is kind of leading the consumer. I mean, we hear about it and we're all close to it, so we think, oh shit, we got to do it. I mean, to kind of be there when they're ready to be there. And I think for us, it was also important to do it to stay relevant to our customer, to say, yep, we know where you're headed and we're going to be right there with you. So has it been off the charts? No. I mean, but was it worth doing? Absolutely, it was worth doing. And again, we're unlocking coupons. We know people are redeeming those coupons. You have to get 20 points to do a coupon, and I think it's 2 points a challenge. Mm-hmm. And so they're coming back in and redoing because a lot of the challenges are in-store challenges. You have to say, what color chucks would you wear with this shirt? And you have to go in and take a picture of those chucks and upload it and to go through and do that. To give you a little bit of history, one reason that was important for us is because Journeys, way back when it started way back when in the 80s, we put pay phones in the store because we wanted kids to come hang out. When they came to the mall, we wanted you just to come be in the store. And when everybody got mobile phones and the pay phones went away, we thought, okay, what now? What do we do to just get the kid to be in the store and hang out? And when we were pitched the scavenger, it seemed like that's it. Now we have a reason to get the kid back in the store and to play a game with us, and it was important. So I mean, that's why we went that route. But like I said, no. Has it far exceeded our expectations? No, it hasn't. But it was absolutely worth doing. Now, as far as the information that we get out of it, no, we're not collecting enough information yet to really use that for a loyalty program. We are getting enough transactions. We can identify who those people are and communicate back with them. But I wouldn't say that we're collecting near enough or just the sheer volume or enough data to really treat that group like a loyalty program per se. I mean, we're trying to do more of that on the Facebook side of things and try to share things with the Facebook community more so than the scavenger community at this point. So, hope that covers the questions.
Yeah, I think that a lot of folks on the app side, where you're choosing to do an app first, a lot of times it's not because they're looking for a mobile commerce site on an app. It's a game,
Right.
or it's a traffic driver, or it's a brand strategy. Question back over here in the back.
With one over here. And then
Oh yeah, sorry.
It's fine. My name is Kendall Ramirez. I'm from Southwest Airlines, and I'm curious, when you guys were talking about building an SMS list to, communicate promotions or whatever it might be, how do you decide what to communicate via text versus what to do, say, via email? And specifically, because email, you can merchandise so much more and sell and do things than you can do with text. So how do you decide potentially to cannibalize your email list?
Barry?
What we'd recommend is keep the SMS communications to those that are intimate, immediate, and, and valuable. Not necessarily valuable from a marketing standpoint, but valuable from a consumer value standpoint. The reality of SMS communications is that they're going to be dealt with within 15 minutes. They're either going to be read, or they're going to be tossed, or they're not going to be read at all. And so
Rarely saved, right?
yeah, and very rarely saved. So if you have something important enough to reach out to a consumer with via SMS, make sure it provides an immediate value to them for engaging with it and using it.
I think it goes down to the shelf life of the message too. I mean, if you're going to run a sale for a month, okay, I mean, communicate it via email. And again, I say this, we haven't done it yet. We have our chance to screw up soon, I'm sure. I think it comes down to how urgent is the message, and if it has a shelf life of more than a day, then I mean, go ahead and communicate it via email maybe. But
So urgency. But yeah. A question in the back here. I think that'll be our last question, and then we're going to move on to the next session.
I'm Chris Avello from Audible.com. Daniel, you mentioned that you thought subscriptions don't work or haven't worked yet in mobile. Being in the subscription business, I'd like to hear you elaborate a little bit more on that, if you don't mind.
Well, I come from that world, and we've tried several different iterations of subscription, from free trials to gift cards to different tiers, and it'll reach a certain segment. If you have a certain niche that you're trying to reach, I think it's certainly a viable option. But in terms of selling access to people for content that you can get elsewhere for free, it's a really tough proposition. We always go back to the cable model that people will pay for access, but that's because they own the pipes and because they control the access to all of the content. If it's something that's internet-based or mobile-based and you're trying to gate, people tend to react poorly towards that. So I think you just need to be very mindful of how you approach that and the type of value proposition that you're providing to the consumer.
Great. Okay, unfortunately, we're out of time. I'd like to thank all of our panelists. Thank you.